We're on to chapter 13, the last chapter of our textbook. Keep in mind we had 14 chapters in this text and we skipped chapter 9 and chapter 14, so 13 will be it. All right, let's talk about ensuring a safe and healthy work environment. It is a manager's responsibility, the textbook says, both legal and moral responsibility to make sure that we are taking our employees' welfare at heart. We need to make sure that our employees are mentally ready for the job, they physically are ready for the job, and they have whatever tools that they might need to be successful. If we have employees that were working too hard, they're burning out, they won't be as valuable to our organization. If someone could be working at a faster speed, but we weren't able to give them the tools to be successful, we're not doing our job. One of the main players in making sure that we have a safe, effective, healthy work environment is OSHA. The Occupational Safe and Healthy Act, which came into effect, created the organization OSHA, which most people they say they're afraid of. OSHA comes in and they cite you. They let you know what's going on, what's wrong, what changes you need to make. But what is the purpose of OSHA? What was the principal reason for this act? Finding that a lot of employees weren't being well treated. There is a paper or case study, I can't remember which one, that you will be working on that brings up an incident that occurred back in 1916, I believe it was, an incident in a shirt factory that brought about some legislation. There is a YouTube video that I posted for you. It is a little heavy, I just want to let you know. So if you do watch it, I remember watching it in college, still vividly remembering watching it in college. This is an excellent example of why legislation is put upon employers to make sure that our employees are working in a healthy and safe environment. Very, very important. So OSHA's main responsibility is to come into an organization to make sure that we're minding our P's and Q's. They track and trend some of the more major incidents in an organization within an industry to make sure that everyone is being safe. OSHA does have resources for employers, so it shouldn't be thought of as such a scary element. If we are following the rules, the regulations, we should be good to go. I don't know if anyone is familiar with an MSDS sheet, or now it's just an SDS sheet. Safety data sheet. It used to be MSDS, Material Safety Data Sheet. These are available online. If you have Windex in the office, if you work for a hospital and you're using different cleaning chemicals, anything that we are using in the workplace that an employee can have contact with, we should be able to go online and print off an SDS, a supply data sheet that tells us all of the ingredients, what to do in the event of emergency, if it's ingested, if it catches fire. So in this instance, OSHA is giving us tools to be successful. Contemporary health and safety issues in today's workforce, workplace violence is very key. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of increased instances of workplace violence, whether it's home life that's brought to work, it's employees that have just had the last straw, and we're finding workplace violence very prevalent these days. There are some other issues that are highlighted in the textbook: indoor air quality, a smoke-free environment. It's a little bit different if you've ever seen the movie 9 to 5, where everyone sits down at their desk in one big room and you have your cigarette while you're working, maybe 4 or 5 later. Now the environment is very different. We are making sure that all of our employees have the same right to a healthy work environment. Stress. I'm imagining that all of you have some level of stress at some point in your lives. If you're currently in the Aspire program, then you're working full hours during the day, and then you come home at night and you're making it through these classes, not to mention the home lives that you have. I give you huge accolades for that. That's fantastic. I've done it myself. I completely understand the stress and the triggers of that. And today's workforce is so much more stressful. We have so little time. We tend to have less people, less resources to do the job that we really need to. And that puts a lot of stress and pressure on an individual. The Human Resource Department is responsible for training our managers and having tips and tools in order to keep our employees happy, healthy, and safe. Whether that's having stress reduction workshops, that's encouraging paid time off, long lunches, Some organizations are having benefits with local gyms. You'll get a discount. Maybe you can have a longer lunch if you go to the gym on the lunch hour. We want to really empower our employees to take care of themselves, knowing that if they're not taking care of themselves, they'll have very little to offer us as an organization. Not to mention they could end up with illnesses that really hurt our bottom line. If we have employees that are working late, they're eating high caloric foods, they could find themselves with heart attacks, being out for long periods of time with stress-relieved, stress-caused incidents. We want to take care of our employees right off the bat. Some more contemporary health and safety issues that we're finding. Burnout, that's a huge one. When we find ourselves at the end of our rope, we don't have the capacity to do our jobs appropriately. If we're not getting enough sleep, we're not eating well, these are not setting ourselves up for future success. So we need to keep in mind that we are part of the solution, not part of the problem. We have great tools that are available to us in the Human Resource Department. We want to utilize those. Let me know how things are going. This is our very last lecture. It's been great. I hope that you have had a wonderful experience in this course, and I wish you all the best in the future.